God bless everyone. This is Minister Hagar, Prophetess Hagar from Eagle Army Ministries, and I'm very blessed to be back with you this afternoon. In today's video, we will be doing a Shiba update in which we will, kind of take a look at where things are and kind of go through some headlines regarding Shiba and see what we can gather from the situation. Now, before we get into the Shiba updates and everything I want to talk about, I do have to mention a few quick things. The first thing is that I'm going to go out on a limb and guess and say that there are many of you out there that we're all waiting on the wealth transfer, right? However, there are many people out there that need immediate relief of things that are happening right now. Like in the now, they need relief and they need help with things right now. And this past weekend, can't believe I can't remember if it was Saturday morning or Sunday morning, but I actually got a series. I want to say I had visions for about an hour straight, probably 40 minutes to an hour straight of back to back to back to back to back to back visions and messages that were specific messages and instructions for the Lord's children and for the house of God. And based on all of those messages and how many of them that there were, I'm going to definitely go out on a limb. The picture that he was basically painting for me was that there's so many of his children that are suffering in like extreme pressing need right now, or just issues that are very pressing in the right now that they need assistance and relief in. And so you guys definitely want to be on the lookout, because I'm going to have to take a break from all of the like crypto updates and financial, messages and stuff like that. I'm going to have to take a break from that. Hopefully I'll be able to do it within one day. Hopefully it'll be one day. But you guys definitely want to be on the lookout, because within the next 2 days, those of you who are in that predicament and are like urgently waiting for immediate relief, you definitely want to be on the lookout within the next 2 days for, it's going to be in both video and also it'll be written messages posted in the community section. So it'll be a combination of the two. So you want to be on the lookout for that if you want these specific instructions and messages for those who are in need of pressing immediate relief in certain issues. So I won't get off into all of that in this video, but I just wanted to give you a heads up for those of you who are like, oh, another wealth transfer video or promise, I need help now. Well, you're going to want to tune in so you can get your answer to what the Lord is saying regarding that. And I can sum things up for you by saying there are a lot of people who are just sitting and waiting on the wealth transfer, as if just the wealth transfer alone is going to solve all of their problems, and it's not. And also, when it comes to the wealth transfer, that's more of a big picture, fix or answer to a lot of our problems and situations on a massive scale. Right now, people may need immediate relief in just even smaller areas. So I will have that coming. Hopefully, I can get everything out over the next 2 days, 1 to 2 days. So before we continue in today's video, I also do want to share something in reference to a post that I made in a community section today. If you haven't seen it, actually, guys, there's been several posts that I've updated in the community section. So if you haven't been over there yet, you may want to go check things out and see what some of the updates are. But I shared one of the posts today where I was talking about this $1 trillion deal that was made regarding Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. And what I was sharing with you guys is that we were directly involved in that due to our warfare prayers. And I show you an outline for you how it happened 48 hours later, etc. So for those of you who may be thinking, no, are we really responsible for this $1 trillion merger? Because that's what I did in the post. I pretty much, of course, I gave the Lord credit and I thanked him. Obviously, he's the one who empowered us to do it. However, when it comes to physical, the body that was used to accomplish it, yes, guys, that's not a joke when you see things like that. We literally were the hands of the Lord that actually went to work to accomplish making this $1 trillion meal come to pass and happen. And I know some people are going to see that and say, oh, well, did we really? That seems so big and so out there, you know? It has to be a coincidence. That would seem so silly that us and our prayers, you know, will have such a big impact and, you know, create something that huge and monumental. Well, guys, take a look at the sign and the story that actually was posted directly under it. So obviously I don't control and select what articles get shared in the same feed or even on the same day down to the same hour. But however, these two news stories were shared in my feed. Google is in control of them, not me, directly under each other. And so let's take a look for those of you who thought that's just some joke or coincidence or not serious or no, that can't be true. It can be, guys. We have to awaken to the fact that we serve, you know, a God that can accomplish anything. But more than that, we have to wake up to the fact that how we are made in his image. And so in that post, as you saw, I gave the Eagle Army, which is all of us, not just me. I gave us credit saying God's Eagle Army secures $1 trillion crypto deal. Let's look at the story that was attached directly to the $1 trillion deal right under it. Watch this bald eagle hunt a salmon with surgical precision. So for those of you out there who were questioning or wondering, could something that big be true? Could we really be involved and responsible for something like that? The answer is yes. And here's your sign and your confirmation that it was the hunt of the eagle in our warfare prayers that secured that $1 trillion deal. So I thought that was really cool, and I just had to put that out there. Okay, so let's get into why we're here today. We're going to be talking about the green and red markets, the bear and bullish markets, and specifically we're going to target that towards Shiba Inu, okay, in regards to those things. And we're going to take a look at some Shiba updates I have for you guys. So to start things off, many of you saw the community post that I made about being your own bank or becoming your own bank. And I was prophesying, saying that a lot of us are going to become our own banks and we're not going to have to borrow from anyone or ask for loans from anyone, that we will be the bank. I also shared a powerful testimony about my personal wealth transfer journey from 2020 as well as 2021. And so if you haven't read that yet, you may want to go find it and read it. It's extremely powerful and encouraging. But as you can see, guys, the picture that this is not a picture. This was actually an ad that YouTube was advertising the day I posted it. And when I saw the title, Borrow from Yourself, that is what triggered my memory to remember my wealth transfer testimony. But as you can see, the part that's relevant for us today is the little grill, barbecue grill that they used in the ad happens to be that emerald green color. Okay. And so when I noticed that, and then it made me think about my most recent video on the prophetic word, you will flourish in famine and drought, something hit me after I posted this video. It was like, duh. I mean, honestly, look at it. It's so obvious. Guys, what do you notice about all of the elements from those visions and from those prophecies and from this message? regarding this message in this video. It's obviously a very common theme. And when I recognized that, I added this comment to that video. Okay, let's take a look. Also, I'm realizing now that the theme for everything was the color green. Duh. Bear with me, guys. Sometimes I am just so slow, but I eventually put everything together. I think this may be speaking to, okay, I'm saying another obvious element from all of the messages when you put them together is that obviously everything was green and based on the subject matter of green, right? And so I'm saying, I think this may be speaking also to our investments are about to change from in the red to green. Okay, let's continue and see how that affects what we're here to talk about today. Well, speaking of changing from red to green, I came upon an interesting correlation today. And this is from a post 2 days ago, which actually I almost want to say that I posted this video 2 days ago. So me and Mike Thompson got this message obviously around the same time, or we shared our messages around the same time. And we're going to look at how this all correlates to the market and what's coming. And actually what's already started. And that's what I'll share with the updates. But this is, for those of you who don't know, this is Pastor Mike Thompson. He's a preacher from Vegas, and he also is a prophet, and he has a prophetic ministry. And he just posted 2 days ago, I watched the red come alive. But what does that mean? Okay. Now, we know that has probably several different meanings. I'm pretty sure he may be touching on maybe the spiritual or, governmental or political, but for our, intents and purposes, especially in this video, we're gonna stick with the financial realm, okay? And so he saw the red come alive, and the exact day I shared a prophetic message saying, I believe one of the reasons and elements of why everything that came together ended up all being green was because it's a sign that our investments are gonna go from red to green. And so he's saying, I watched the red come alive. I'm assuming he had some sort of visitation from the Lord, a dream or a vision, in which he witnessed the red come alive. Okay. Now, he's asking a question, what does that mean? So for our financial purposes, what does that mean that he saw the red come alive? Well, we know, number one, at the top, we know the red coming alive. Red is in reference to our Red Sea moment, right? We also know that red, obviously, as I just mentioned, means kingdom assets in the market going from red to green. And then obviously, if you saw the red come alive, red often represents blood and death. And so if you saw it come alive, that means that it was actually resurrected. He's basically watching dead things come to life. And this is exactly what we were working on and doing upon the direction and instructions of the Holy Spirit, right? We were resurrecting Shiba from the dead, in which we also, not just Shiba, even though that was the main focus, we also did continuously mention the entire wealth transfer and the entire house of God, right? Resurrecting dead things to life. Let's continue. Now, take a pause. I know a lot of you saw the little heads up I gave you about the bear market for this week, right? Remember, I gave a little heads up at a possibility. I don't know if this is going to happen for sure, but the part of the article that stood out to me was that this interaction with the grizzly bear and the woman, that it was very unexpected. And so I wanted to make sure that I got that out there. That way, in case it happens, people aren't caught off guard. And if they're not expecting it, they'll be shaken by it. They may not understand it. As your Sister Hagar, you're sharing all of these, fulfillments and updates and things going in the right direction. So why am I waking up to things backtracking or seem like they're going backwards? Okay. That's why I put that heads up out ahead of time. That way we kind of expect it. We know not to react to it. It means literally nothing. It will come and it will go. It means nothing towards the main objective in the bigger picture. It'll be very temporary, and it means nothing. So that's why I wanted to put that in perspective, because as I share these updates and positive things, I don't want you to wake up and happen to see, a bearish day or this week some extreme bearish event with things and think, things aren't working. They aren't going to. No. That's why I gave everyone the heads up, because guys, we're going to see these fluctuations. We're going to see little pullbacks here and there. Okay, so just already be prepared to see them, already be prepared to ignore them, because they mean nothing. And that is actually one of the main reasons why I chose to do this update today, even though next on the horizon, we may have a little bit of bearish activity or pullback. But guess what, guys? The Lord always goes before things, right? That is the main function of the spirit of prophecy, to go before things. So even before that incident that may or may not happen, even before that happens, I'm going to come out ahead of time and already start speaking towards its ending, right? And speaking life and, speaking that turnaround, even though we may end up seeing those things. It's like I'm already in the future past it. You know what I mean? I'm already looking beyond it. I'm already speaking life and speaking it, out of existence, and I'm speaking the bullish things into existence even ahead of time. And so that's just going to be like a little blip. We're going to see all along the way throughout this transition, guys, we're going to see those moments, okay? Don't be shaken by them. Just keep standing and keep looking forward. But each time we see those moments of maybe like momentary drawbacks, or where things seem like they're going in the opposite direction, that is only churning up momentum and strength to where once things turn back in our favor, each time is going to be more and more powerful, and it's going to take us more and more further. Think about when a woman is in labor, how those contractions are leaving and coming back, leaving and coming back. Okay, and it's like each time the contractions get closer and closer, or each time they may get stronger and stronger and stronger. And that's taking you closer and closer to what? Things being birthed. That's what we're looking for, the birthing, the manifestation of the wealth transfer. So don't get shaken when you have those moments of retraction, those contractions coming away and going away and coming back, progress going away and coming back, going away and coming back. Because each time it goes away, and then when it returns and comes back, you're only going to see bigger updates of success. You're only going to get pushed further and further towards the birthing. I hope that made sense to everybody how I explained it. Okay, so getting back on track, talking about this, right? We're speaking about seeing the red come alive. And I was speaking about the red markets turning green. These are the signs we're starting to see come forth, okay? In amongst the prophetic circles that the Lord is speaking forth and showing us, right? We're talking about watching the red come alive and how that correlates to resurrecting dead things, turning the markets from red to green in our Red Sea moment, right? And we're not going to get shaken or rattled by these momentary little blips of bearish moments. We're not going to get shaken by that. So speaking of bearish moments, guys, that takes me back to, I promise this all ties into Shiba, and you'll understand what I mean when I show you. So, because that's what we're dealing with here, right? We're dealing with this stagnant, bearish situation with Shiba, and we're waiting on it to finally turn into a bull and take off, right? So this is how it all correlates. So speaking of bears, we also know that we recently did a bear, or I released a bear stock and crypto market prophecy, but then we also did prophetic declarations and prayers where we released decrees over the crypto bear market, right? To change it from a crypto bear market to a crypto bull market, right? So speaking of that video, this is a screenshot of that exact same video, the bear stock and crypto prophecy and declaration, guys. And when I pulled a screenshot up of the video because I wanted to get a picture of the decree that we did, when I went to go do that, guess whose video is actually streaming right beside it? Exactly. Prophet Mike Thompson, Pastor Mike Thompson, where he's saying, I watched the red come alive. Okay, so these weren't shared on the same day. As you can see, mine was shared 2 weeks ago. He just shared his a few days ago. So through all of and I didn't like tag this with any words talking about red or anything like that. But lo and behold, when I went to get a picture of the bear stock crypto video, him saying, I watched the red come alive, was actually posted directly in the feed chain with my video. So this is another sign. This isn't even a sign. This is just blatantly in our faces in black and white English that we know that these two things are connected. Because remember I was saying when I went to interpret what does the red come alive mean, I felt that part of that was kingdom assets in the market going from red to green. And obviously the Holy Spirit is in agreement with that because his video is literally attached to the bear crypto market video in which we spoke to the crypto markets to change it from a bear crypto market to a bull crypto market, right? I prophesied that, but then it was all something that I asked everyone to read along, stand in agreement, pray in agreement, repeat it in agreement, whatever, what have you. So speaking of bear markets and bull markets and watching the red come alive, basically the same transformation from red to green and then from bear to bull. So speaking of that situation, since I'm here, if he's claiming the Lord has said he watched the red come alive, and I'm associating that with the bear crypto market coming alive and transforming into a bull, we should begin to see some movements and signs that manifest, that fulfill those things, correct? Well, let's take a look at some of those fulfillments. And I believe that all of these are Shiba Inu. So we're looking for green, right? And we're looking for bullish events regarding the crypto market. But in this case, this is a Shiba update. So regarding Shiba, lo and behold, this article, and everything in here is very recent, guys. This is within the last few days. Shiba Inu bullish signal. So now all of a sudden, after all this time, we have Shiba putting out these very bullish signals, right? That's exactly what we've been looking for and what we declare and what was prophesied. And now it's beginning to manifest. A whale withdraws 1.7 trillion SHIB. Okay. Now, this is trillion, not billion, guys. This is a lot of Shiba Inu. 1.7 trillion Shiba that a whale purchased. I know I probably shared a little blip of the, like a little mention of this story in my last video, but I want to get deeper into it. And that is a lot of Shiba Inu. So first of all, like I said, emphasize that it's 1.7 trillion SHIB that the whale purchased, not billion. So we're talking about a massive amount of Shiba Inu. And what happened when that whale made that purchase? It triggered a bullish signal. Okay. And then we have another prophetic correlation because who is the one who made the huge purchase? A whale, right? A whale is the one who is starting to trigger these bullish signals for Shiba. Well, we already know back from my prophecy in April, as well as the vision that we were given. I don't remember exactly when, but we all know this was recent, maybe within the last week or so. Remember the vision of the whale that was released from heaven to do what? Shib was inside of the vision to bring Shib out into the main view, okay? To bring it out of obscurity off in the corner. And so we are literally seeing both the bullish prophecies begin to manifest, because that's what we were decreeing, to turn from a bear to a bull in the bearish crypto market prophecy, right? And Pastor Mike is seeing the red come alive. And now we're seeing both those bullish signals and also those whale prophecies come to pass and come to light. Okay, let's continue. This was from about 3 days ago. So we have down here the time of the article 844, 8 new beginnings, 44 double portion of manifestations, in the physical world. So yeah, very cool. Shiba Eternity sets historical record for Shiba Inu Day after release. So this is one of the things that we talked about in the Burning Inferno video that I did with the compilation. And we were talking about that Shiba Eternity was about to be released, and it was released on the 6th. Well, this was just saying that it set historical records from the release of that Shiba game. Okay, let's continue to see these updates. See if we can see more fulfillments of bullish behavior, bullish signals. Okay, transitions from bear to bull and Shiba, as well as whale activity. Okay, that was all prophesied and promised. So, what is this? Oh, down here at the bottom, Shiba Eternity by Shiba Inu has already managed to bring obvious marketing success to its creators, with the number of SHIB holders increasing by 2,220 a day after its launch. And with that increase to SHIB holders, they're saying that put Shiba holders at a new all-time high of, I believe this is like 2 million something, okay? And so let's take a look at what's happening. Once the Shiba Eternity game launched, it was so successful, okay, so popular, so publicized, that it drew in such large crowds. Not all of us that are already a part of the SHIB community and SHIB holders, but new people that weren't even into SHIB. It drew in thousands, and they're saying that it drew in a large number of people only in its first day of the launch. It drew in, and guys, look at this. We already know 22 is our prophetic number, but this is going beyond that now, where we're seeing a triple sign, a triple set of twos, okay? 2,220 new SHIB holders. So even the amount of new SHIB holders, which took the amount of SHIB holders to an all-time high, even that amount down to the number was a prophetic amount of people. You can't get any better than that, guys. Let's continue. October 7th, Shiba Eternity downloads explode. Okay, so that situation was very successful. I believe that it was the #1 download out of all the apps, all the games, all the different things you can download and play. Shiba Eternity was the #1 download on the big platforms. I don't know if it was iPhone or Google, but I know it was the #1 download. So this did bring a lot of momentum. Ignore price, guys. Price is literally meaningless right now. The price will only matter when it has that instantaneous supernatural, run. Until then, ignore price. Price doesn't mean anything. I keep saying this. What's happening right here, what I'm sharing with you, the background, behind the scenes momentum that the Lord is organizing supernaturally, that is what's all going to matter at the end of the day. Even in 2020, when I shared my testimony, when I got that wealth transfer released to me in 2020 and 2021, There was no sign, no money, there was nothing. There was like everything was silent and quiet. There was nothing to the eye of what you could see that was happening, but the Lord was organizing and orchestrating and planning everything in my favor that I was unaware of behind the scenes. And so for a long time, there was nothing that I could see or touch or taste, with my physical senses. But lo and behold, boom, when it happened fast, guys, and it happened out of nowhere. And even once I was aware that it was in process of happening, there was what seemed like all these little setbacks, like it wasn't going to happen. That's what I told you guys about seeing these bearish days, or maybe a bearish week, or even like a little time period. Ignore it, because it seemed like, oh, I got rejected. Oh, they turned down my application. I'm not going to get it. I had to do a little bit of back and forth for a little while. But then it's like all of a sudden when it happened, it just, boom, it happened. You know what I mean? And it just all released at one time. So ignore price and just focus on all of the promises and prophecies and things that the Lord said is really important and going to matter. And as we can see, he's kept his word, because everything that he is prophesying and told us about is all manifesting and coming to pass, and it's all contributing to the bigger picture. Let's continue. Oh, more whale activity, just like the prophecy told us. Believe this is from 2 days ago. 100 billion SHIB grabbed or purchased by this whale after this major milestone of SHIB. Etherscan spotted a transaction moving a staggering 100 billion. Don't get this confused with the 1.7 trillion, guys. This is a separate incident. So we have all these different whales with these massive amounts of Shiba Inu. Those are very bullish signals and signs, okay? Because these are the wealthy of the wealthy of the wealthy. So they're not going to get involved with all their money and waste their time and energy for no reason. So this is a sign that they understand and know where this situation is going to go and where it's going to end up. They know. They are fully aware. Let's continue. Okay. Whale buys 1.1 million. That's how much it costs in cash. But in SHIB, it was actually 100 billion Shiba. Okay. Whale bought a total of 100 billion Shiba Inu, worth a little over $1 million, on the KuCoin exchange. Okay. This whale seems to have made the purchase following a massive inflow of new investors. That's that Prophetic 2,220 new investors that piled in within 24 hours of the game being released. Okay. So when the game was released, it was so successful that it pulled in a supernatural prophetic amount of investors down to the number. And then when all these wealthy whales around the world saw that, they said, oh, wait a minute, I better hop on this bandwagon, because if people are flocking to these, little things that are being released, and SHIB is building momentum and is expanding, that if it's pulling in these massive amounts of followers or investors in a short amount of time, they know like, oh, this is going to benefit me. So they're hopping on the bandwagon, right? Those whales are being released from heaven. Let's continue. So Amazon SHIB burner, that's our other prophetic sign, right? The amount of burns. We were given 2 signs, burns and the whales. And so when it comes to the whales, I know I've been talking about this for a while. There is going to be a compilation video, because it's so much, guys, that I'm giving you little tastes, little bits and pieces of the whale fulfillments as we go along. That way, by the time I get the entire compilation video out of all of the whale activity and fulfillments, that it won't be so massive. So I'm kind of like breaking it off in different videos as we go along. So Amazon SHIB burner sets record by destroying highest monthly amount of SHIB this year. So out of all the months this year so far in 2020, when they tallied up the amounts, once September closed, they counted it up, and September actually was the highest month of SHIB burns since the Amazon burn portal has been open. And so, guys, this is taking us in that right direction. This is manifesting the prophetic signs we were told to look out for. Definitely. And this actually falls into the whale prophecy category because Amazon is a whale. That's one of the whales that was sent to us that assist Shiba. So, a whale is not just an individual or a wealthy, powerful person. A whale is just a person who has wealth, money, stature, influence, but it's also corporations and companies. And so we all know that Amazon falls into the whale category. So we can definitely say that fulfills the whale prophecy. Let's continue again. 98th biggest Ethereum whale adds 300. This is a separate instance. We're talking about billions and billions and billions, hundreds of billions, and by the trillions now at this point. Guys, it's increasing. At first, it was only whales picking up a certain amount of millions. Now, if you notice, every whale story that we see is now billions. And now we've already breached starting. Now going forward, guess what? You're going to start seeing all of the whale stories are going to turn into trillions. Watch. So, 98th biggest Ethereum whale adds 300 billion Shiba Inu. SHIB trading spikes 52%. So now we have the trading volume spiking. And the volume, a lot of times, is more important, guys, than the actual price. The volume is where the actual true information and data is being held. That's what lets people know, what something truly has behind it, and what something truly has the potential to do. And so for, investors that are really educated and make money, and for people who have a lot of money, a lot of times that's really what they pay attention to is what is the volume really doing, not necessarily just a price looking high or being high or pumping for a temporary amount of time. They want to see, what's behind the scenes. And so we have that volume spiking 52% as these whales continue to pile in, purchasing not only hundreds of millions, but now hundreds of billions and even now trillions of Shiba Inu. Let's continue. Down here at the bottom, underlined in green. So, huge spike in Shiba Inu, age consumed metric. Have no idea what it means. It doesn't matter. We know it's spiking Shiba, so that's what matters. On Wednesday, October 5th, by up to 123.77 trillion SHIB. This sharp spike indicates movement of a huge volume of SHIB tokens following a period of dormancy. Let's stop right there. First of all, let's look at this number. 123.77 trillion with a T, SHIB. We already have the prophetic 3.7, 37. Obviously, also 7 in itself is God's holy number for completion and perfection. And so they're saying that all of this high volume movement inside of SHIB is waking SHIB up from a period of dormancy. Now, when I saw that word dormancy, it really stood out to me because if you know what the word dormant means, it's very closely related to basically being on the brink of death. There's a very thin line between death and dormancy. So dormant, some people describe it as sleep, but it's not. It's well beyond being asleep. It's like literally, as you see when they mention similar words, I underline here in green, it says one of the similar meanings of dormant is comatose. Okay, so it's right on the brink there with death, which we know Shiba Inu has been in. And this is saying they're starting to see all this activity, whether it's selling or buying is irrelevant. The fact that now there's participation and movement and excitement that's waking it up from being just flatlined, how it's been for so long, right? And so let's continue on with this idea of dormancy that's now being awakened and woken up. Okay, another definition says dormancy is when growth itself and activity are temporarily stopped, ceased altogether, like there's literally no growth. No physical activity, no signs of life, basically. Something is just ceased from movement or activity or any signs of life, pretty much. And it really reminded me in the scriptures, Matthew 9:29 and Luke 8:52. Remember when the girl had died and they went and got the Lord for help, and he told them the girl is not dead but asleep, and they laughed at him. Okay. And he also said in Luke, meanwhile, everyone was weeping and mourning for the girl who had passed away. But Jesus said, stop crying. She is not dead, but asleep. Okay. And it really reminded me of that dormant phase that SHIB has been in, where it's like on the brink, pretty much to the eye. That's why I said ignore looking at the price. To the eye, it looks dead. There's been no movement now, guys, for months. It's just like like it's flatline. There's nothing, no signs of life there. However, just as Jesus, when he resurrected, people said they weren't dead, but just asleep. Once you brought the resurrection life power of the Lord into the picture, they had the potential to be brought back to life. And that circles us back around to what we did not too long ago, in which I was saying, I believe this is what the Lord told us, gave me instructions so we could begin to resurrect Shiba from the dead. And now we literally have that showing up and manifesting. Praise God. Thank you, Lord. Where this massive activity is bringing Shiba out of a state of dormancy, out of a comatose state, right? And we see that now. We see that manifestation of what we did in these decrees. Remember, we poured out the oil and the wine like the Lord told us to, in order to resurrect Shiba from the dead. And we're starting to see that happen. And so in closing, guys, I want to just share a few really quick manifestations and signs and wonders, prophetic signs that are manifesting in nature regarding everything we're talking about right now. Let's start at the top, talking about resurrecting things from the dead. Remember, Pastor Mike said he saw the red come alive. Let's look at the top. You can't make this stuff up. All these articles are fairly recent. They all came out around the same time that I'm watching all of this and seeing all this happening. Extinct, which means something is basically no longer even in existence. An extinct fish brought back to life 100 years after its death and extinction, guys. So this thing was wiped out of the face of the earth of existence. And even so, as a prophetic sign, this is saying this fish was still brought back to life. What does the fish symbolize? Think back onto the story of when Peter was trying to catch, the fish, and he couldn't do so, but the Lord had to tell him exactly when and exactly where to cast his net. What was the fish? His livelihood, to be able to eat, to sell and make money. So provision, financial provision, and the ability to receive and eat and provide for yourself and acquire things. That's what the fish represents. We are fishers, right? And so let's continue talking about bringing the crypto bear market to life and transforming it from red to green. Let's look at these two stories at the bottom. When we talk about the bear in the crypto market, grizzly bear falls off waterfall trying to catch salmon at this national park. So guys, this represents the bear. He's trying to obtain a fish, right? But the fish belongs to us. We just covered that with bringing up the story from the Bible. The fish is the Lord's children's provision, right? And so we have this crypto grizzly bear attempting to catch and go after the salmon. He wants to obtain the fish for himself. That's that bear crypto period of keeping all of our assets in the red, okay? This bear market trying to obtain what belongs to us. However, but in this story, it actually, in trying to do so, it falls off the waterfall. So in trying to do so, it actually falls, which means to fail. Okay, some sort of stumbling block, failure. Something happened to where it was not able to complete its mission. Something got in the way of it. Pretty much is what this sign is expressing. In the midst of trying to do that, it failed and had a failure. Let's look at the next story over to the right. Watch this bald eagle. I mentioned this earlier in relation to the other cryptos, but it also aligns up with this sign. Watch this bald eagle hunt a salmon with surgical precision. Now, here we have the same exact scenario playing out. We have the bear crypto market trying to go after the salmon, right? Trying to keep things suppressed in the red, things that belong to us, the fish. But it ends up falling and failing. And who ends up being successful at obtaining and hunting the fish? And guys, it's not two separate fish or any fish. They're hunting the exact same type of fish. They both were going after salmon. Okay, the bear crypto market was going after the salmon, but then you also have God's people, which is the eagle, that wants to hunt and go fish and acquire its salmon. Okay, it's food for the day. So the bear was unsuccessful, yet the bald eagle was very successful in its hunt for salmon for its food and provision with surgical, precise precision and victory. And I'm going to leave things right there, guys. I hope this little Shiba update blessed you, encouraged you. Don't forget, like I said, to check out the community section for updates if you haven't done so. With several encouraging messages and prophetic words and things like that in there right now. Also, remember, keep a lookout over the next 2 days, Lord's willing. I will have those visions and instructions out there for you guys that are in need of help in the right now. The Lord is saying you don't have to wait just for the wealth transfer. Actually, the wealth transfer has already started. I shared that with you guys that in 2020 and 2021. So we're not waiting on the wealth transfer to begin or to be released. We're just waiting on the next phase and the next release of the wealth transfer. The wealth transfer is already unsealed and open and has already been happening for a while now. Okay, it's just about if you know where to look, where to go, and if you're going to the Lord of instructions of how to get it. And that's what kind of I'm going to touch on in these visions and instructions that I will be sharing in both video and also community section posts. So keep a lookout for that if you need that immediate relief for things in the right now. So God bless you guys. I'll catch up with you next time in my next video, Lord's willing. Bye-bye.